Parshas Kiseitze. We have discussed the topic of choosing a job. The Chavis Alvavis talks about that a person should try to take something that they feel that they have the talent for this specific type of a job, and a person that doesn't have the talent should know Hashem doesn't need you to do that. And like we see, like by Balei Chaim, the one that need to have tall feet, so Hashem gives it to them. The one that don't have it. So if a person finds themselves that they like a certain job, the other job they don't like, they should understand Hashem is shifting you, is pushing you towards a certain direction. What your tafkid, what your shlichus in this world is. Now, many people struggle that they find themselves in a job that they hate. And they not only don't like their job, just after they learn the Chavis Alvavis, they feel that the Chavis Alvavis even said that I'm right. Because I don't like the place that I'm in. I don't feel that I'm built for this, that I'm designed to do such type of work. And every day for me it's suffering. Every day for me is painful. I hate getting up in the morning and thinking about my job. What's the point? What is the point for me sitting here? Now, how do we address this situation after we learn the Chavis Alvavis, when a person understands that he's not there for the money? Because before a person learns Chavis Alvavis, so they could feel, listen, I don't have a breder, I don't have a choice, I have to feed my family. So this is what I found, and if I don't like it, okay, so you don't like it. So maybe one day I'll find a different job, or maybe you're not supposed to love your job, but I'm here for the money. But once a person starts realizing, once again, I'm not here for the money, because Hashem can give me the money without going to work. So why did Hashem send me to go to work? Because I needed to do a shlichus on the world, but I'm not doing my shlichus. So why don't I just quit my job? What's the point of this part of my life? It's not to bring money. Because if that's the case, you don't have to do all these physical hishtadlas to bring money. It's a challenge. It's a big challenge. Now, there are many different versions of this challenge. It's not always the same. You have sometimes people that they desperately need a job, but they're not being offered something that they enjoy and they like to do. So they don't want to take any job right now because I didn't find something that I like. Now, not because I found something, just I wasn't happy with the salary they offered, because that we covered, that we spoke about. Now we're talking about the type of jobs. Right now, nothing's available, the thing that I love to do. And sometimes a person feels that I should start on my own. I don't feel I have the means to be able to start on my own. Sometimes you need a lot of money. I can't. Hashem didn't give me the money. I should be able to have the $200,000 to invest or whatever. I don't have that. So I need to find a job somewhere which I don't have to invest. But I'm not being offered. I tried. People try for very long. It's a little bit like shidduchim. Sometimes people are in it very long and they've had it already. Now, after learning the Chavis Alvavis, the challenge becomes stronger. The pain is deeper. Because if I'm going to a place which I don't like, I don't enjoy, I don't have the specific talents for it, then there's absolutely no point. So what am I supposed to do? That's the topic which people can find themselves in this matziv a lot. It doesn't only have to be when you're talking about parnosa and jobs. It could be, it's related to the topic of shidduchim. People are waiting. People don't have something that fits them, or people are already in a marriage and it's not for them. So a parnosa is like a shtickle shidduch, that a person should feel comfortable, and a person should feel that they could produce and they could really do their shlichus. Or I can't do my shlichus here. So what's the point? What's the point? I'm suffering.
Also the person moving out of a house, and
Right? Right. Bayis ploini, bas ploini, the ploini. You have a person that's living somewhere, and it's not matching what he needs. Because Baruch Hashem, Kanan Hora, the family grew. He can't, in 2 bedrooms is not enough. Not because he has these crazy ideas in his life. It's really not enough. He's not managing. The kids are waking up on each other when they're going to sleep. Bedtime, it's just not working out. You got to continue. Now, I don't know, sometimes the person doesn't have the money. Sometimes the person doesn't find something that suits them. They didn't find. It's all related to the same concept. But we spoke about Parnasa, because by Parnasa, a person feels, 1 second, if I'm only doing it because I'm supposed to do this shlichus, then what does Hashem have from it, that I'm in this and I'm not doing anything, I'm not growing, I'm not producing? Okay. Now someone told me about a beautiful piece from the Skelener Rebbe Zechariah Levroch, the first Skelener Rebbe, Rebbe Lezer Zisya. It was just his 40th yahrzeit. Erev Chodesh Elul. Rebbe Lezer Zisya ben Rebbe Yisrael Avram. So Skelener Rebbe has a Sefer Noyam Eliezer. He has Torahs in the Parsha. So he says something fascinating that it's very important we should remember, all of us. He discusses the topic of people doing things which they're not capable of. You have sometimes multitasker people that whatever you ask them, they say, yeah, I know how to do it. Sure, I'm best at it. And sometimes it's true that some people know how to do a lot of different type of things, but some people say that they know how, but they don't really know how. And not dafka people that are used to saying it, everything, the all-knowers, how do they call them? Know-it-alls. The know-it-alls. Not only those type of people. Just every person sometimes gets involved in something that is not for you. It's an interesting topic. They get involved in something and they're not good at it, and they're doing it, and sometimes they're doing a lot of damage, and we know sometimes we're at the other end. The askin that got involved and the whatever got involved, and they're like, please, if you don't know how to do it, please don't help. Like sometimes in the house, that's the answer. The best help is, please go learn. Please, if you don't know how to do it, it's fine. Don't do it here. That's what they used to say. If you don't know how to do it, don't do it here. So he says an interesting concept. He says that when someone does something that they're not good at, it's gaiva. Sometimes it's good to point it out. You can't say always, because sometimes a person means it so well and he feels he's obligated. I'm not talking about that. A lot of times it comes from a guilty conscience or something, and it comes from sometimes a good place. But when something is like pushing to do something and continues on, and come on, it's not for you. Please get it. Sometimes someone that's involved in being about tefillah or singing, sometimes it's like that. It's not really his strongest his strongest talent in life, but he doesn't give up. He's always busy, and he's always busy with it and helping her move on. It is a certain guy that I'm a know-it-all. Don't worry, I know how to do it. A person has to chap that a lot of aspects in life, a lot of different things, I don't know how. I'll tell you the honest truth, I'm not good at it. Hashem didn't give me the talent. I was born with the, a person says 2 left hands or far left in today's politics. I don't have. I can't. Now it's tricky. Like anything, when a person is looking for the truth, it's tricky, because when a person is obligated to do something for real, and he's trying to get his way out of it, and he say, I don't know how, I don't know, and everything, he doesn't try for a second. Maybe you know of someone, maybe say a kapitel tehillim, maybe no, it's not for me. So it is sensitive, you have to know when and what. But a person that's looking for the truth, it's not so hard to see where it's coming from. When a person is saying, I'll tell you the honest truth, I'm not good at this. I'm not going to help you build a sukkah, because there's going to be a lot of fun. Bandages and drills and broken. Please, you don't want my help. And he says that when someone is doing something that they're not good at, just because they want to show how they could bring results, sometimes, then it's called avodah zorah. Because avodah zorah means foreign. Yeah, I don't know how Zorami fremd, they say in Yiddish. That means you're doing something that's not for you. It's avoida for someone else. When you're doing avoida that's not for you, it's avoida zora. Because it's koich avoitzim yodedik. You feel like, what's the problem? What's the problem? I'll figure it out. I'll know how to do it. You just give me, it's done. You should see it like it's done. All these type of talk and the thinking, the train of thought that people think that they could get it figured out. He says, oh, I'm good friends with him. I'll take care of it. It's fine. It comes from a person figures that he do it, and a person is supposed to chap talent that Hashem didn't give me. Then it's fine, because even the talent that I do have has nothing to do with me. It's a shlichus. So whatever I'm supposed to be doing, I'm doing, and Hashem created me like that. The Belzer of Zechon Levrocha, Rabbi Aaron Belzer used to say that a person that was born with something, it's not gaiva to know about it or to say it that Hashem gave me that. I have no idea. I hope I'm doing my job, but I have no idea. But I was born like that. A person that lives healthy understands it, that it's nothing to do with gaiva, because he really doesn't connect it to him as something. He just feels more obligated to utilize it because he was given it. He hopes he's using it right. And a person says that whatever I didn't get, I guess it wasn't meant for me. There's a lot of different situations in life that this is so important. Happens to be that I heard from someone, the Sklener Rebbe's son, could be he took it from his father. The Sklener Rebbe Zechon Levrocha that was nifted just a few years ago, 3 years ago, what? So he had a big tkufa. He lived in Monsey. Now he took a ride with someone, a hitch, with someone that I know. So it was before he was Rebbe. I don't know. I don't know when it was, but they were talking, and he asked the driver. The Sklener Rebbe asked the driver, "What were you doing by this chasana?" So he said, "I was a shtickl shatchen." So he says, "What does it mean, a shtickl shatchen?" So he said, "No, the truth is that someone else said that he did it, but really, I felt that I was, he got into that kind of sticky conversation. Who really was the one who thought of it?" And he looked at him and he told him, "I don't understand. If someone is not needed somewhere, so why in the world would you even try? Would you even push? A person is only meant to go where there's nothing there. Wherever there's already welcome she'ein anoshim, ishtadel liyosis. Try to fill the void. That's where we're always looking. Wherever there's a void, maybe I could help. If someone's helping, then why would you b'chal think about going there? Now this is something that thousands of people in Nebuch are struggling with this issue. You have constant, how do you say, tacharut? this friction and competition about, I know how to do it better. They feel it's makam she'enish because I know how to do it better. You're making a very big mistake. It's a big mistake. If Hashem would have chosen you, He would have just gave it to you on a silver platter. If you're busy saying that I know how to do it better, so I want to push that one away, most of the times it's because you're not busy, you're not focused on what's my shlichus. You're focused on that you want to produce and you want to be the big guy. And it's, for the people that are observing, they see it very clear. The person that's in it is like tangled, messed up with it. Now, let's go back to work. Let's try to understand it from a different angle. When the Chovis Levovos is talking that a person is supposed to find their job, Chovis Levovos is saying, you should be looking for something objectively. I mean, you don't know, but you're trying to take away your negiyas and to see what's Hashem's plan. So you're saying, all I know is that the tools that I don't have, most probably, I shouldn't be looking there, even if it's making more money. But which I do, I didn't get permission. I'm not here I'm here, I have to get permission. So wherever I get permission, that's where I go. Where I don't get permission, I don't go there. It's a bittul. That's what a person, it's a kind of bittul. It's being humble. That's what it's all about, to do what you're good at. And this is a new understanding to this Chovos HaLevavos. Before we continue, people think, do what you're good at. You'll be so successful. You'll shine. It's also true. It's also true. But Hashem will help you. What you're good at, you'll have chiyus in it. But that's not why you are going to the place that you have the talent. That's not why you're there. It's not because, listen, I know how to do it well, I'm going to make a lot of money. Or even not the money. Now we're not discussing the money aspect. I know how to do this, so I'm going to be in cloud 9. If I could just do that job, I wish. I love it. It's healthy. Again, I'm not saying that a person shouldn't think like that, but you must remember that that's a schar. Hashem is telling you, if you do what you're supposed to, Metz Hashem, you'll be very, very happy. It's true. But that's not why I'm doing it, because just in case there's something there that might be a big nisoyim for me, you're going to get mixed up. One example, not the example that we started off, very simple example. If a person has this dream, I'm going to do this because I just love it. I connect to it. If I could just get a job that's with my hands, I love to draw, I love to whatever it is, then I'm sure the rest is going to be set up. I'll have a good Seder Hayoim. I'm going to be uplifted and I'll daven and I'll learn because I really love it. I promise you, I love to do it. Now, what's going to happen if in that place that he gets this job, then the employer or whatever, someone there is ruining his day, is putting him down. All kinds of small little details that are just big enough to make you feel you're going crazy and upset and aggravation. What now? You got that job already. It doesn't have to mean if you're going to get that job, then you're going to be living in Gan Eden. Most times you won't be living in Gan Eden because you have to work with people. Most, if you're working some kind of way, even if people think if I'm going to be my own boss, then everything's going to be fine. It's not true. If you're your own boss, you also have to work with people that are under you, and if you don't know how to do it with tact and be able to be nice to people and to be social, you're going to get messed up again, even if you're officially in the top of the game. There's a lot of different things that we have to work on. It's not easy. You have to work on. So if you're just going to be focused that if I do what I like, then I'm going to be successful and I'm not going to have nisyonis, it's not true. It's not true. You're going to be devastated when you're going to meet the reality. So now let's go back. And Nelson says, so why does a person take something that he likes? Because he looks and he tries to see where Hashem put me. He put me. He set me up here. He said this, and that's why it's not only about what talent a person has. It's also about where he is located, in which stage in life the person is. He's trying to see what makes sense, in which matzah am I. What does Hashem want from me? He set me up like that. Sometimes people, they get so invested what they want to do that they don't look at the different parts of the picture. That you can't do that right now. It's not your job. We don't only look at your talent, because your talent is a form of bittul to Rebbeinu Shalom's plan to see how Hashem designed you to work for Him. So if a person is right now in a stage in life where they are not allowed to have a job that's 14 hours, if you look at it the real way, a mother of children, so many different examples. Right now in my life, I have something that I'm more obligated. I know, I have the truth. I have children right now, or I have parents right now. I'm not allowed to neglect everything else. But they don't want to see that. They want to say, but I have talent and I love to do this. That's because we're not learning the Chovos HaLevavos good enough. We're not understanding. It's only about figuring out where Hashem put you. You're reading the card. It's like a person taking the chip out of themselves and seeing what code that Hashem put him in. To what does he fit? He calls a technician. He says, compatible with what? How did Hashem create me? It's not only what I love to do. Now, once we learn that and we understand that you have to take the whole picture, and then a person understands what he's meant to do, that helps us understand what does a person do when they found themselves in a job. And they say, like a person writes to me, he says, why am I in this stupid job, this what I hate? The truth, because I had to leave Koil because I needed some money, and that was the sign that was hanging on the wall. And I dread that day that I made that decision. I just took the first thing that came to me. I said, how much do you pay? I took it. And I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck. I'm a bit older. I made a wrong move. Stupid move. What do I do? But once a person is in a matziv, a person can fight it. Here's where it gets tricky. You could look for a different job, but if you didn't find, then Hashem is giving you this situation that you have to work with this. Now, before we got to the topic of choosing this job, the other, what a person should be doing for their parnasa, we had for months and months the topic of Yisurim, of pain, suffering, tzaddik v'ralai. We were busy with that. Sometimes when a person is in a matzav and they're trying to say, so what's the title for my situation? Where do I check it up if I want to see how I'm supposed to deal with it? So they say, well, it's something about liking my job. I think it's in this part of Chovis Halvavos. And then they open it up and it pours salt on their wounds. Because the Chovis Halvavos says that I'm right. So I'm so upset now. You're wrong, because you didn't look at the right title. Please, go a few pages earlier. You are right now in Yisurim. It's not easy. It's true. And now we have to take out the rules and the tools, what a person does when a person is suffering, how they understand that they cannot help themselves on their own, and how they understand that right now this is the best toy for me, and how they understand that this situation is going to make me grow. And if I decide to grow from the matziv, and then I'm going to open up new channels of abundance. I'm going to become closer to Hashem, which is going to change the situation in life. And there's no other way I could do that. It's a whole different matziv. It has nothing to do with your job. So the Chovis Halvavos is talking about one type of bittul, and when a person is in a situation, then they have to do a different type of bittul. And now let's explain that. When a person is in suffering, it's not a total different sugya, a total different topic as choosing a job. They are both they're neighbors in Chovis Halvavos, in Sha'ar HaBitochen, in Perek Gimel. The neighbors. Sometimes people think it's total two different topics. This is parnasa. This is taking a course on how to know how to do what's right and how to do it with achrayas. And this is something totally different. These are people that are in pain, people that are suffering. They should learn that part of Chovis Halvavos. It's not like that. It's because we're missing the core understanding what bitochen is. The Sadigeri Rebbe, the first Sadigeri Rebbe, he was a son-in-law of the Beis Aaron. The Yortzeit, is tomorrow night, Yuda Aleph El is the Yortzeit. So that he said that if you watch a person, you'll never see that the feet tell the mind what to do. It doesn't happen. It would always be that the mind is the one giving the direction, and then the job of whatever it is, the hand, the feet, they have to comply. They have to do what they were told to do. So he says, bitochen. He explains the pasuk Tomim Tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Tomim, the literal translation, which I don't know, but it's very hard. But because I'm not looking at the simple of Tamimus. Now he explains it to mean whole, tam. That means full, not half, just the whole thing. He says, when a person understands that they are the ones that are supposed to be following orders, and they are like the feet, and they connect to Hashem, constantly following the orders, what Hashem told them to do, then they become connected and they're a whole with Hashem. Tomim Tiya Im Hashem Elokecha means as long as I'm not deciding and I'm just trying to connect what Hashem is deciding for me. That's what it means, Tomim Tiya Im Hashem Elokecha. Now, if a person is telling Hashem what to do, it's not going to work. If a person, every time they have to make a decision, they're trying to see what is the right decision. Not where am I going to gain, because you're not even going to gain if it's the wrong decision. Trying to see, let me get under the umbrella of Hashem, and let me follow orders. That's what Tomim Tiya Im Hashem Elokecha means. Now, bitochen is, there's some Rishonim that say that bitochen, the source of the mitzvah of bitochen is in that pasuk, Tomim Tiya Im Hashem Elokecha. Trusting on Hashem, and a person that's totally relying that Hashem knows better than me. And Hashem wrote in the Torah what to do, what not to do. And I'm relying that if I'm going to follow the Torah, then Hashem is going to take care of me. Even when it's tough. I will never lose out from following the Torah. Right now, the Nisayon is because I don't see it. Al tachkacha, I see this. You don't have to see the future. I have to rely on Hashem so strong that I'm going to do what's right, and I'm not going to be losing a dime from doing what's right. So I'm looking at myself constantly, like there's a mind, kavayachol, you're talking to Hashem, that's giving orders, and all I'm doing is I'm trying to follow those orders. And if I don't follow, then I become sick. That's what happens. That's how a person should look at it. Bitochen is teaching a person to do that. But it has two zroot, they say in Hebrew. It goes into two types of, it turns into two pathways. One is when a person has to make a decision to do what's right or wrong. And that's how he's being mevatel and after the Rebbeinu Shalom. He's trying so hard, Hashem, help me do what's right. I don't know. But he wants to do what's right. And his nisayon is he should do what's right. It's hard, it's tough. That's the nisayon. The other part of bitochen is, to be mevatel, is you don't actually have a choice in the matter. It is what it is. Could you tell me what you're planning to do? You don't have much to do about the situation. The question is in the heart, if you're going to accept it and do it and continue on b'simcha and not fight it in the heart. Hagam, you cannot really choose to do this or do that. Those are the two nisyonis in a person's life in total. All Torah mitzvahs and an nisayon is one of those two. There are many nisyonis which is a person has to choose to do what's right, or it could be sometimes active, passive, it depends, to close their eyes, whatever it is to do. Then there's nisyonis that have to do with yisurim. The matzav is what it is, and the nisayon is he should accept it and be happy and thank Hashem and believe that it's good in the mind and in the heart.
But in each situation, like the toxic job, that's the word they use now,
Yeah.
or the toxic marriage, there is a choice. The choice is a very difficult one. To leave, even though you don't know what's going to be in the future. To leave, but it could be that sometimes that's the Ratzon Hashem to take that choice.
Just a second. So now what we're trying to get to is that the topic of Yisurim, when a person is in pain, is the nisayon to accept. To really work on your mind and in your heart to try it and understand it's good, even though it's painful. But the mind is telling the heart, Hashem knows what's good for me. It's Toiv Anigla. It's a big job, big nisayon. That's how they're connecting to Hashem. Their bittul to Hashem is by not fighting it in the heart. The topic of choosing a job, that means a person has to go to Parnasa, is about doing the right move and not the wrong move. And a person has a nisayon because they feel maybe the other job I will be able to daven better, but they're offering a better pay. They have to choose to do the right thing. So these are the type of nisyonis. So what happens if a person is in a toxic job and they can't really help themselves? So does it belong here? Does it belong here? It's important always, by marriage and by the house, it goes back. Even if it's titled I'm looking for a job. Even if I have a suffix and whatever, but right now, the person has to be able to accept that Hashem put me into this matziv. And it's the same bittul. This is what's so important to chap. Why should a person be doing something that he likes to do? Because that's how you could comply. You could be following the orders that Hashem gave you by creating you like that. That's what you're doing, what you're supposed to be doing. That's why I'm doing that. So the same tafkid, the same tachlis, the same successful person, he's being the same successful person by following those orders, by staying at this job. Because it's bittul and it's bitachon, and it's going to bring you to sometimes a further place. A person always has to be able to understand in which matzav he is. Now, of course, we have to add, he's asking, it's so important. The person is saying, but why are you saying I have nothing to do about it? Why are you saying that? I have the option of leaving the job. I always have the option of leaving the job. Well, the answer is, a person has to see if he has that option. If a person has that option, and they have a way how to manage or whatever financially, then of course that goes back 100% to the topic of choosing a job. Avad. They look and they say, listen, I have some way, I have a shtickl mahalach how I can manage. I discussed it with people. I'm not doing a wild move. I don't see the future. But it's not a wild move. I discussed it with many people. I waited a month before I made my decision. I heard different angles, different ways, how different smart older people are looking at it. And I made my decision that I want to leave the job, and I have a mahalach I'm going to manage. It means you have the choice. You have the choice. If you have the choice, then you're saying, I feel I'm going to be a much calmer person. I feel I'm going to be able to be myself. I feel I'm in the job. I'm shut down. I'm shut down. I can't daven. I can't produce. I can't do anything. I have to choose to leave the job, and I have that option. But that's when a person has that option. Sometimes a person is saying, I'm leaving. You're fighting. You don't really have the option to leave. You don't have the option to leave, because what are you planning to do? I don't know. But I'm not staying here one more day. Most times, I can't say always, but most times when a person has no mahalach, nothing, they're just leaving because they're frustrated. They didn't have the choice.
Is it possible to turn to bitachon then, saying, this is killing me as a father, as a husband, as an Oved Hashem. I'm going to leave this job, and I have bitachon that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to help me find something else.
It's beautiful because people are struggling with this question. It's the real question. And he's saying, why can't a person, when they're struggling in the toxic job, say, listen, I find myself, and you could ask my wife, I say, I'm not a father, I'm not myself anymore. I'm so frustrated that I cannot do anything, and I'm losing my avodas Hashem, and I'm losing my normal life. You tell him, you're challenging me that I'm not going to have parnasa. I'm having me talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to help me. Very tricky. Very, very tricky. That's why a person has to be able to discuss this with the Das Torah, but not stam, with someone that could really feel it out. But what is the factor? What's how did Avigdor say, the clicker? What are you trying to see when a person is in this dilemma? They're trying to understand if they're doing it as an act of giving up, an act of fighting the matziv, or an act of, I don't believe it's Ratzon Hashem anymore. It doesn't. It's it. Hashem, help me get out of this place. You could see the way a person talks in the weeks before, if the person is going out healthy, or they're going out so mimumar, so bitter, and you could sometimes see, no, you cannot leave a job like that. You can leave a job sometimes seeing Hashem, Baruch Hashem, shoved me and pushed me, I should leave, it was so much better for me. You have to leave a job like that. And a person sees, Hashem pushed me, that I should continue. I guess I'm going to the next level, to the better matzav in life. Yeah, so it does get, but this is important to learn the name of the game. That means, in which matzav am I? I'm in this matzav, I'm in this matzav, I'm in this matzav. A person should be able to give the title to the nisoyon. Now, it's interesting, but really, as we said before, if we understand this topic, then it gives understanding to most nisyonis in life, that a person should have a better grip on what's going on. They shouldn't be lost and saying, I don't know, I think I gotta go away for a week. They don't have a grip on their matzav. All they know is that they're not doing well. The Svarim explained to us something fascinating. We know that there's a nisayon aniyus, there's a nisayon ashirus. There's a nisayon of being poor, there's a nisayon when a person is rich. And they both are very challenging, and a person needs a lot of siyata d'shmaya to be able to serve Hashem in these matzavim. Nisayon aniyus, when someone's poor, they need their basic needs, and every time they have to ask people, or they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. They constantly have to be in that matziv. And what's the nisayon of ashirus? Baruch Hashem, he has a lot. The answer is, once a person has money, then number one, they have to do with their money. They have a much, much bigger achrayus to give tzedakah, more than the regular. And it's so hard to know when yes, when not. The people that are fine people, such elder people that are struggling, they're saying, the door is not stopping. How does it work? But they have. It's not like I don't have a Shabbos, but what's the gvul? How much do I have to give? I gave myself, I promise you. I think I gave a chomish, but Baruch Hashem, I have. I gave a chomish, I have, and there's almona by the door. It's not so simple nisayon to do what's right. But if you look at it, and then the other part of our Osher's nisayon is the gaiva, the koich v'etzim yod. It's very hard to stay humble and to be bottled to Rebbeinu Shloim and be this fine. The money is very, very powerful what it does to a person. Now, if you look at it, the nisayon ashirus is the nisayon of choosing the right thing in the bigger picture, to doing what's right. And the nisayon aniyus, you don't have much to do about it. It's just about working in the inner work to accept it. These are the names to these two big nisyonis in life, which the answer to both is bittul to Rebbeinu Shloim. It's just bittul in the form of accepting, or bittul in the form of, I'm going to constantly think, am I obligated? Is Hashem expecting me to do it? Then I don't care. I have to do it. I'm an eved. For a rich person, it's very hard to feel like an eved. It's very hard. What do I have the money for? In order I should be able to do whatever I want. If I have to be at work 24 hours, then why do I work so hard to get my money? It's very, very hard. It's a very big avoidance. So if a person is going to learn to take their situations in life and constantly name them. This is nisayon ashirus. This is nisayon aniyus. This is the nisayon which I could choose to do whatever I want. That's what a person feels. If a person feels they can do whatever they want, then they have a nisayon ashirus. So nisayon aniyus is when they have to be mashlim with the matzav that Hashem gave them. Now, in a person's life, they have both reigning. Constantly. There's things that a person's thanking Hashem. I can't believe it. Hashem is being so good to me. And things that are working out. And because it's working out, they could sometimes be very lenient, let's call it, about different details in Yiddishkeit. Because Baruch Hashem, they're doing fine. They have the money to make a vacation for the family. It's a lot of money, but Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, they take the whole family together and they went out somewhere. Now, the food, the kashrus, the where you're going, to which places you're going, you could, in a big avodah, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it, and I could do it any way that I want. I'm going to try to do it right. It's nisayon ashirus. Nisayon aniyus is in that same trip. Those same people, they came to the hotel. Whoa! Now, how do we handle this aggravation? Didn't we see pictures before we got here? Yeah. Those pictures went through a Photoshop before they were put up online. And that's the nisayon aniyus. In this same trip, a person is in this matzah. Now, is come to you name it, so a person, oh, this isn't so ananias, I have to accept. People get very wild. They get very wild. What do you mean? I gave my money till they chap. It has nothing to do with that. Now you're having an ananias. Stop fighting. It's the constant battle. The Chazal explain to us. They say that nisayon, which is harder, ashiris is harder. That's what it says in Chazal. Nisayon aniyus is easier. And why is that? That's because the bottom line is you can't do anything about it anyways. So even Chochmas Chaim, a smart person says, instead of being so aggravated and killing myself and everything, let me accept it and be happy, and I will enjoy life. It's not like I could change it anyways. Ashiros, the pshat is, a person he sees that he could, and he doesn't. But it takes guts, That's why the Sfasem says that he didn't have to be first in the midbar for all those years, and that was Nisayon Aniyos. They didn't have, and they had to rely on Hashem. And once they were there, matzah, then they were ready to go into Eretz Yisrael, which was Zovas Cholav Udvash. But now you build yourself. Kumt oi samoyre di gezach. In every person's life, the koyach, the power to be able to make the right choices, come from being able to accept. The nisayon aniyus give the person it builds him to be able to, even when he has ashiras, he should be able to make the right choices. And that's the reason why Chazal say, Soifoi, you're going to be able to do it. Hashem is going to pay you that you're going to have. But I couldn't give it to you in the beginning. Why? Because then, if you would have all that wealth and whatever it is in the beginning, it wouldn't do good for you. You're going to make the wrong choices. A person is not strong enough. Hashem created us. Hashem knows. You're not strong enough when you have so much money and cover in front of you. In Nebuch, we see sometimes live examples. Young people that they have tons of money or whatever right away in the beginning, and they were never built. It's not good. It's not good. Or the Mahazadik, it's not good. It's all chaval. They ruin their life. But when a person builds themselves slowly and they struggle, they be'emes struggle their way through. But if you struggle the way you're supposed to struggle, the back and forth is, I'm trying to have bitachon, I'm going to try again to have bitachon. You're struggling not just to survive, you're struggling to live. You're struggling to connect to Hashem. You don't know what that's doing. It's giving you the muscles that Hashem should be able to give you enough money and enough hatzlocha, because Hashem knows that He could trust you, because you learned how to be bottled to the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's so important to understand this, because it really covers the nisyonos of a person's life. That if you find yourself in this spot, you should know afterwards Hashem could make you have the ashirus, and you'll have the nisayon, you'll have that nisayon. But Hashem wants to build your muscles to be able, because He wants you to be successful in that nisayon. It's much easier to be successful in nisayon aniyas. It's with steps. So now back to that person, or to all of us sometimes, that we find ourselves in a matziv that we can't produce. I wanna give to the world my talent. I wanna be able to give tzedakah. All day you hear that. Not because of me. I want to give tzedakah. I promise you don't know me. When I had money, I gave. I want to be able to give. Or with a house, I want to be able to raise children. I want to be able to, I want a big house just for the Yeshiva Das. I promise you. I don't need the fanciness and anything and the nice cars just because I want to be able to come to daven and be Yeshiva Das, let's say, whatever it is. Hashem knows that, and it could be He's going to give it to you. But the way to reach that is by building your muscles. And right now, you're already on the journey. Right now, by not having it. And when a person is makabel satoira in this matziv, that they themselves are opening the door, so they should be able to have the other type of nisayon. And this juggling goes on as long as a person is alive. in different levels of it. So we just have to name our nisyonis, and like you mentioned before, a lot of them are very tricky. Do I have something to do about it, or don't have something to do about it? Sometimes someone offers something to do about it. What do you mean I could do? You ask him, okay, let me hear what, and then you look him in the face and you smirk, and you don't have to say anything. If the person is a little bit, he says, I know I just said something. Forget it. Delete. Forget it. He feels. A lot of times, tell me what you're planning to do. Is it something normal? Is it something that makes sense? Is it something that it's really going to help you? No. So what's our matzah right now? We don't know what to do. Oh, beautiful. So now we named the Nisoyan. Beautiful. We don't have to be at loss. There's no reason. Now we know the name of the Nisoyan. It's this type of Nisoyan. So now we use what you're supposed to do. This type of bittul, the other type of bittul. It's very important to chazer and to give. A person should give examples to this from their own life, so they could really put it into their system of thinking. Okay.